think of that.
Yeah, sometimes I forget that it's only, well, I know some countries have Thanksgiving, but it's in different dates. Anyway, we're already starting.
Oh, wow. Alright, so both of these guys, as we said, 0 and 2, they really don't have much of a chance of getting out of the groups, unfortunately, with their current standings. So this is a for fun match, you could say, for pride and glory, maybe, I don't know.
Yep. We also get a map check on the Mclagging side right away with 2 pendants in the light world, which any pedestal lovers out there, that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, 2 light world pendants. Not a good sign for the runners, but it's good for Chad. And an early hook shot here on Uncle. I think that's a pretty good thing to find as basically your first item in the seed, right?
Yeah, it's really good, especially if it's like your only item and you don't even have to select it. You can just constantly hookshot onto things in the world. Trees and fences, lamps. It's a good time saver.
Good early item to have, definitely.
So we got a bit of a route divergence right away. Both of them doing the Uncle route to start, but Mclagging is going the typical Lumberjack Cave to Kakariko route, whereas Evanidus is being a bit more pessimistic, picking up some bombs here south of the Haunted Grove. And we'll be doing the Kakariko route basically in reverse.
Oh, Mclagging can get some good drops from the Hoarder here, though. Single bombs, definitely worth picking up.
Yeah, today optimism pays off, whereas pessimism has us getting like 2 bombs and not much else. We do have a glove on the ledge.
Well, this is turning out to be quite an interesting seed.
Yeah, technically both of these runners now have access to East Death Mountain. Although that would be a sequence break right now. I don't expect either of the runners to fall for that bait just yet. Nothing good in the Forest Thief's hut, unfortunately. But Mclagging is probably not going to be missing out on that glove anytime soon.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised to see him skip it.
Evanidus also using this hookshot to its fullest effect. Grabbing onto bushes and trees like it's nothing.
I feel like there's a couple like places where it feels like you should be able to hookshot to them, but you can't.
Yeah, it's kind of weird sometimes. I honestly just don't risk it sometimes and just not use the hookshot to its fullest effect. But we do find a sword here in the chicken hut. And the flippers here in Blind's hut.
And another glove.
Huh. So that is that's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff.
We can get into the Dark World, at least once both of these runners pick up the gloves the other is missing. But we don't have that Moon Pearl yet, so they're not particularly useful just yet. Evanidus having to spend some time farming bombs here in this bomb hut, whereas Mclagging is able to just go right down Kakariko well with the 10 bombs he started off with. And oh my!
Okay. Both Canes and the Moon Pearl down here in the well, so
This is a Stackerico.
I'm sure these guys are thinking, I wish we could have played this seed earlier.
Yeah. Now, these guys aren't really out of the woods just yet. The items they have get them into the Dark World, but outside of that, the progression is still kind of slim.
Yeah, they'd really like to find a hammer or a bow, probably. Maybe both.
Yeah, I would expect... I'm wondering if either of these runners is going to go directly into the Dark World, or if they're going to try and clear out most of the rest of the Light World before doing so. We're still on Green Mail. We have a fighter's sword, which is nice, but we do only have about 6 hearts.
It's definitely more dangerous than you would think. Pretty much everything does at least 2 hearts of damage in Dark World if you're in Green Mail. Mclagging almost quitting out.
Yeah, it's a pretty good item to find on that ledge. Definitely don't want to pass that up. So, Evanidus now just going to check the forest, which didn't really have anything. I don't believe there was anything at Lumberjacks, was there?
I think it was a red rupee, maybe. Nothing of value, anyways.
Right. But that knowledge is good to have if Evanidus decides to do that. I know some runners don't like to even entertain the possibility of checking Lumberjack until they find the boots. So Mclagging looks like they're going to be probably going into the back of Escape right now, which is a good idea. With the sword, also, it's easy to navigate those dark rooms and kill the rats for the small key.
Yeah, I like this play.
This is something I like to do pretty much as early as I can. And another thing is with that glove, they'll also be able to do the easy Houlihan strat. Mclagging opting not to do the dark room, unfortunately. We'll see if Evanidus decides to go to Escape soon. But it looks like Evanidus is actually going to the mountain.
Yeah, looks like he wants to go up.
Which I don't disagree with. If you're in the area, might as well. We don't know where the flute is, and having that save and quit spot is can save a lot of time.
It's definitely helpful, and the dark room or the dark caves here aren't that bad to get through with a sword, at least.
Ooh, Mclagging trying to do a little clip with the hookshot through that block. Unfortunately, is going to have to do the standard dam route here. That's like one of the worst feelings, I think, is missing that clip.
Yeah, it's no fun. All that for 20 rupees. We had our first bottle from the old man here for Evanidus, so that opens up Sick Kid, even though it's technically sequence broken, I guess.
Yep, until we find that lamp or a flute. Well, I guess until we find that lamp, that is sequence broken. We also see the Master Sword on Spectacle Rock.
That's very good information to have. He can't get it right now, but at least he knows it's there.
Let's see what Hookshot Cave, or not Hookshot Cave, Mini Moldorm Cave has for us today. A not sequence broken bottle and the blue mail.
Alright, that would definitely send me back to Kakariko, check the Sick Kid, and then take the Dark World portal up there.
Yeah. Having that early Dark World access and having the only real Dark World access via Kakariko I very highly doubt either of these runners are gonna miss out on Sick Kid for too long.
Alright, so Mclagging is giving us a hobo check. And Evanidus checking the Paradox Cave.
Well, if we're looking for Zora money, Evanidus has it now.
Yeah, that was definitely Zora money.
Unfortunately, nothing else just yet. So, falling for the sequence break bait, not necessarily paying off. We'll see what's in the Spiral Cave, though. Also get a red meringue. Nobody's going to be picking that up this race. I'm going to call that right now.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Evanidus being forced to walk through this spiral cave. Which, I mean, chat seems to think it's a lot worse than it is, I think. But only really getting another heart container for the effort. So right now, Evanidus is going to be able to do Dark Death Mountain as well.
Yeah, that's for the mids. Yeah, good point. I was gonna say, kind of looks like whatever Evanidus is finding here in his sequence break up Dark Mountain, Mclagging kind of gets it also. You know, he got a non-sequence broken bottle. He almost has enough Zora money now from non-sequence break locations.
Yeah. And if I were playing this seed and I were Evanidus, I would probably be thinking that the lamp or the flute, or basically both of those, are probably going to end up being kind of trolly if there's no real progression here, despite the early hookshot and the early gloves.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I'm not really sure where it could be. There's a couple of spots left.
Like lagging, not having the Zora money, and has to opt out. Hopefully that doesn't bite him. But Mclagging also finds the red mail inside Waterfall Cave.
Yeah, so he's definitely going to feel a lot better about making that trip to the Dark World.
Evanidus finding a sword inside this hookshot cave. So, not a total waste.
Well, that's pretty good. And our second sword upgrade already, so we basically know how to get to Tempered Sword at this point.
Yep. Only the fourth sword, the Butter Sword, remains. And this is a seed where mirror is required, so we'll probably be seeing at least one of these racers grab it. Grab that sword on Spectacle Rock.
It's kind of hard to leave it behind. I feel like from a player's perspective, when you're like, it's just laying up there.
Yeah. So I'm very surprised that neither of these runners have delved into the Dark World just yet. Evanidus is now doing pretty much what Mclagging did, although, yeah, starting at Link's house, they're probably going to be doing the Hylian Shore, whereas Mclagging is now doing Death Mountain, retracing Evanidus' steps from earlier.
Yeah, they've basically just switched places here. We're probably not going to see a whole lot of new interesting stuff here in the next couple of minutes, unfortunately.
So, in the meantime, what do we have and what do we need? And where can we go? So, pedestal hype index is still a bit high, although having the last pendant inside Turtle Rock kind of dampens it. We could have the mirror on the pedestal. We could have a medallion for Maya on the pedestal, or the boots, or even one. Nope, not the bow. We need the bow.
Yep, bow is definitely needed. I think if it has to be a pedestal seat, I don't think I've seen a mirror on the pedestal yet. So I kind of personally be going for that one.
Yep. So right now, outside of the Light Worlds locations that these guys are checking, we have the front side of Escape, aka Hyrule Castle basement. We have Sahasrah's hut, I believe, as well as Eastern Palace. We have a lot of the Dark World overworld, including Dark Death Mountain, even though that's a sequence break. Even though Evanidus already did that. So pretty much the entire Dark World is open except for Mire area.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Dungeon-wise, we can enter Thieves Town. We can enter Palace of Darkness without a bow. We can't yet enter Swamp Palace because we need the mirror. We can do the front side of Skull Woods, but we do need the fire rod eventually to finish it. And Ice Palace we can get into, but we can't actually do anything there until we get either Bombos or the fire rod as well. And Mire is flute blocked, and Turtle Rock needs that hammer. So if I were these runners, well, personally, I'd probably just do Dark World Overworld from Kakariko, culminating in Hype Cave, and then I would venture into Thieves Town and do that.
Yeah, I think that's something along those lines, at least, is probably what I would also do. I'd probably dip into Thieves Town before making my way south and over to Hype Cave.
So yeah, our pedestal hype index is at a 3.
And Evanidus is actually going to show us, excuse me, what Zora has for us. Because he definitely has enough money.
Yeah, this could be really good for Evanidus and really, really bad for Mclagging if something important like, say, the hammer or mirror is here. Do you know how many rupees Mclagging needed for Zora?
I think it was like 22, maybe?
So, Zora only has a little bit of love for us today. Unfortunately. Not enough love to give us something worthwhile.
Just a tiny little bit. So we keep coming back, you know? So Mclagging pretty much having done everything that Evanidus did earlier, and Evanidus having pretty much done what Mclagging did earlier. Now,
Yep,
go ahead.
We're finally going to be seeing what our sick kid is holding. And just some money, so he's a rich sick kid. Fortunately, whatever he's sick of, he can't apparently buy a cure. And Mclagging is making his way to Eastern Palace via this Sahasrah's hut.
Yeah, another little bit of different routing here from these guys. We've seen like small divergences here and there, but they kind of converge again, I guess.
Mclagging finding the best boomerang, the bloomerang, behind Sahasra.
The only one you'll ever need.
It looks like... Oh, Evanidus is just opening the way to Thieves Town, not actually going inside just yet.
I think it's an interesting choice from Mclagging here to dip into Eastern Palace. He seems to not want to do any Dark World stuff with the exception of Death Mountain so far. And rather dip into this pendant dungeon without having the item to complete it even, so...
Oh my!
Okay. Never mind. Yeah, sure.
So,
good decision making here by Mclagging, as I was saying.
So Mclagging finding the hammer in the first chest in Eastern Palace. That's gotta feel pretty good, especially considering you gotta assume that your opponent is probably dipping their toes into the Dark World as we speak. And Evanidus is in a dungeon which, more likely than not, can have a good item, an item of indeterminate value inside inside that big chest.
Yeah, this is a huge find for Mclagging for sure. This could be quite the game changer because, you know, as I was saying originally, it's a pendant dungeon. At least it's a green pendant, but you probably don't want to go in here unless you have a bow. And every other option is exhausted.
Yeah. Having a lot of progression in the Light World, especially getting that Dark World access, often leads a lot of runners into going directly into the Dark World and assuming nothing else is good in the Light World. And this is where decisions like what Mclagging did can really pay off. Because there is a chance that Evanidus finds a bunch of progression that leads Evanidus on a wild goose chase, whereas Mclagging can have a more focused route, having this hammer. But finding that hammer, we're one item away from Turtle Rock entrance. just want to point that out.
Yeah, that is very true.
And Chad is pointing out, Evanidus found the map and compass inside Thieves Town, which means there is something inside that big chest. And honestly, Evanidus is not going to be coming back here anytime soon. So, much like Zora with Mclagging, this could be huge and also terrible.
Yeah, this is... that hammer might make all the difference for this seed. It's already a huge find.
Yeah, Mclagging is still determined in clearing out all of the Light World.
Yep, he is not going to that Dark World. He wants to check out everything he can here first.
You know, there's a place they call Height Cave. I don't know why they call it that, but with that hammer, Mclagging has pretty easy access to it.
Yeah, but you know, you can rush things like that.
So I'm wondering, Mclagging has red mail, a lot of hearts. Are they gonna decide to visit the Dark Room? Like set up a death warp or something?
That's a good question. I mean, we've seen plenty of items being down there and make a difference. And so far he seems very determined to really thoroughly check everything that he can in the Light World.
Evanidus taking out Blind with little trouble, picking up a piece of heart. So, you know, having a crystal is nice, but having hammer is nicer, and Evanidus didn't really find anything of value inside this dungeon.
Nope, and had to leave behind an item. Meanwhile, Mclagging picks up the sand card.
That's nice.
So we know where that is.
It's also kind of painful if you wanted to set up a death warp.
Yeah, looks like he has no real intention of doing that.
So there is an item, for sure, inside that dark room. Finding the map inside Zelda's dungeon there.
Let's see, is he gonna go in from behind, maybe? Nope.
So I think Mclagging is finally accepting that the answers he's looking for do not lie in the light world. Getting the hammer is nice, but, you know.
Yeah, that's gotta be it for now.
So Evanidus, I assume, is going to be grabbing the frog? Nope, never mind. It's making a liar of me. Not grabbing the frog. In this version of the logic, the frog, you typically need a mirror to rescue, but if you save and quit, he's still with you, so you can just walk back to Kakariko from the light world.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be the first time the frog holds the mirror.
So do we got? So Evanidus is probably really hoping there's something inside this hide cave. If there isn't, honestly, outside of places we've already seen, I don't think there's many new places he can get to.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is Agina's cave, which both of our runners have so far neglected.
Yeah, and Hype is just it's a trite cave today.
No, it's definitely not very hype. I think we're probably going to see Mclagging dip into Thieves Town here right away.
So what is Evanidus doing? Oh, I know. We're going to be going the long way to get to Pyramid and Catfish, probably. And maybe even dipping our toes into Palace of Darkness.
Yep, without the hammer. Have to go all the way around.
Nope, just going directly into Palace of Darkness first. Without the mirror, I don't think Evanidus is going to be checking the Pyramid or Catfish anytime soon. Unless, you know, the mirror is inside Palace of Darkness, which it's almost like contractually required at this point. I see it there so often.
This seed now, looking at these guys, it's been pretty generous, really, on both the item and like the equipment front, I guess. Both of these guys are super rich, and they got a lot of hearts and red mail already.
Not to mention the Master Sword with the option of Tempered whenever we find the mirror.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So, Palace of Darkness is not bow-blocked, so Evanidus is going to be spending a bit of time in here. Whether or not that time is well spent is still up for grabs. And Mclagging, making his way through Thieves Town, will be seeing what's inside that big chest soon enough.
Yeah, if this is another big item for Mclagging, all his plays have paid off.
Interesting hookshot strats through this Hellway. The amount of sprites on the screen makes the hookshot lag considerably.
That's just not a fun tunnel in really any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, especially when you don't have the boots. So the front side of Palace of Darkness not having any real value.
All I've seen so far is a red rupee, which is definitely not what you're hoping for when you're in here without the bow and without the hammer.
Mclagging about to go downstairs, so within like a minute or so we'll see the true fate of Evanidus.
All will be revealed.
So Evanidus now finding a small key in the backside here. Don't have a fire rod or the lamp, so these dark rooms are going to be a bit of a pain. They're some of the easier dark rooms in the game, honestly. But again, by the logic, we don't have the lamp right now, unless it's somewhere accessible that neither of these runners have been to just yet, which I don't think leaves many locations.
And there really isn't too much left here.
We do find a second small key, which means Evanidus will, at the very least, be able to full clear the back side of Palace of Darkness and have a relatively easy... Ooh, and the big key. Have a relatively easy path. And we have a question mark here.
Yes, it's kind of stuck in whatever it was before. We didn't know if it was a good item, and we still don't know.
Yeah. So that cape opens up exactly one spot on the world map, and I honestly expect Mclagging to go visit that sometime soon.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he didn't. It's also quite close to that spot too, and he might want to check out Skull Woods anyways.
Mclagging having a not effortless. Ooh.
Oh, hello.
So don't worry about that blind fight. We find the flute inside Palace of Darkness, big chest.
Alright, that opens up at least 2 more items for now.
So, the flute is lamp locked. That means, like I was saying before, neither of these players probably should have sequence broke the mountain.
Yep.
I mean, it didn't pay off for either of them. They both did it, so it's kind of a wash in the end.
And as you were saying, Mclagging immediately checking the bumper cave, just a bomb upgrade.
And it's nothing.
So the hammer, still a very nice find, but at least for Thieves Town it didn't lead to anything other than a little bit of safety, I guess.
Yeah, this seed is so weird. It gave us so much progression immediately, and it's had us on this IV drip. Not even an IV drip. We haven't gotten any progression in like the past, like, I don't know, 15 minutes or something, outside of that flute, which is sequence broken.
Yeah. It's weird. We're gonna now see both of our runners go into Skull Woods. We're finding our first medallion here. It's Ether. Could be required for Maya, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't get us into Turtle Rock, which was what I was hoping for. So, Skullwoods has one more item. Outside of that item, what do we have? We have Agina Cave. What else?
Yeah, Agina's Cave.
The
frog.
You know what?
What's that?
You know what Evanidus didn't do, which he was in the area for?
Quakefish?
Yeah, or the pyramid.
Ooh, the pyramid, yeah. That's another good one. I mean, there's a few spots left, but there's not too much left for them to find progression of really any kind. I mean, we can't really say what it will be, but it'll have to lead them somewhere.
Yeah, we get a bit of a frustration here on Mclagging's and finding the big key in Skull Woods, meaning they're going to have to go back inside the front side of Skull Woods. I like taking the vanilla route here, honestly.
You don't like taking a ride?
No, I meant
okay, to the big chest.
I mean, I like the Wallmaster, but I like falling down the hole instead of going through the door and doing a bomb jump.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
So yeah.
So much for that.
So yeah, we've got what?
All right, we got the frog, and the hammer packs, at least for Mclagging, and Gary's lunchbox potentially.
You know what I just thought?
What's that?
Will either of these runners take the Tower of Hera bait?
That could happen.
Because again, the flute is lamp locked, so it's a sequence break.
Yeah, it could happen. So Evanidus checked the bumper cave, even though he doesn't have the cape yet.
Okay, so Evanidus is going to be checking Quakefish.
Oh yeah, it looks like it.
And probably Pyramid. I mean, who wouldn't do it at that point?
Yeah, I mean, if you're already here...
And Mclagging is going to be grabbing our froggy friend here. So that's another interesting angle. Wait a second. Did Evanidus not go to Catfish, or did I miss it?
No, he didn't go yet. He went downwards towards Pyramid, and then he's probably gonna go back up, I guess.
That's weird. So yeah, we've got a Froggy World tour. We'll see if that pays off. Evanidus might actually do that sometime soon, especially having that flute. It's going to be a lot easier to get back to Kakariko after that save and quit.
Yeah, definitely quicker. Looks like Evanidus only found a piece of heart in the pyramid, so doesn't bother picking that up.
Yeah, this might be a Catfish required seed. We'll see. And Evanidus really still needs to visit Eastern Palace, and honestly, the number of locations Evanidus can access are kind of dwindling. I mean, Mclagging has kind of full cleared the Light World.
Yeah, absolutely.
Evanidus still has Escape and Eastern to check.
We also still don't know what's in the Dark Sewers chest, do we?
Nope, nobody checked that. Oh my goodness! Catfish having the mirror.
Well, that is more progression, I'd say.
Yeah. I would say that opens up. Once Evanidus makes his way to Eastern Palace, that's going to open up Swamp Palace.
Oh, yeah. Got the hookshot and everything.
So yeah, Mclagging is probably going to be getting that mirror pretty soon. And honestly, I don't know who's ahead. Like, Mclagging has checked more world locations, overworld locations, but Evanidus has more distinct progression in the form of items. If this seed continues to troll these runners and Evanidus is forced to return to escape, and if he decides to do, or if he decides to escape before heading into Eastern Palace, that could be a problem. And also, Evanidus,
Oh, man.
Evanidus grabbing that book from the graveyard ledge. We'll see if that is important sometime soon.
Really, it's just finding more stuff, which is, of course, good, but it's also leading him away from Eastern, really.
Yeah, we're going to be visiting Tower of Hera, which, if Evanidus is lucky, or potentially very unlucky, will be fire-blocked. We'll also be seeing Tempered Sword and the Ether Tablet. Evanidus is grabbing the mirror, which we're not seeing because stream problems. But I'm really wondering if Mclagging is grabbing the mirror. But I'm really wondering if Mclagging is going to be going to get that book.
Yeah, that is... I mean, it's a popular mirror spot, but I'm not sure... Oh, boy.
My. What are those?
Those are a very good item, I would say.
Yeah, probably required with Desert Palace being a crystal. So outside of that hammer, everything is really coming up Evanidus. The only problem is, as I was saying earlier, this could send Evanidus on a bit of a wild goose chase, thinking that the boots are gonna, lead him to the boots and that book are gonna lead him to the hammer, which we know that's not true.
Yeah, we'll have to see when he gets around to dipping into Eastern Palace. I mean, so far, he probably doesn't even miss the hammer too much yet.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, Evanidus is still sequence broken. Like, he could have had the mirror. The problem is that he needs a lamp to get to the mountain. So Mclagging having the dwarf or the frog inside the Dark Worlds leads me to believe that Mclagging actually checked the desert ledge. But we'll verify that the next time we see the item menu.
The desert ledge? You think he was over there?
Sorry, not the desert. The graveyard ledge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, Evanidus is making short work of Trolldorm here. And the red pendant that he doesn't want.
Did not seem to want that pendant. Mclagging also opting to check this mirror location and just manually drag the chest along instead of saving and quitting. Nothing good in the second mirror location here.
It also looks like Evanidus had to leave an item behind in Hera in the basement.
Yeah, that could come back to bite him. And predictably enough, we're seeing Evanidus head immediately to King's Tomb. So a bit of like general routing comments. Mclagging didn't have the flute, so had to drag the chest here manually. Mclagging doesn't have the book, apparently. Or no, Mclagging does have the book. Or no, Mclagging doesn't have the book. So they won't be able to check Bombo's tablet.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. It looks like Mclagging wants to dip in the swamp, though.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea at this point. But I'm really confused how Mclagging didn't have the book, judging by the situation we saw when Mclagging's stream restabilized. Because the only way, or at least the fastest way I can think of to get to Dark Kakariko, and the only reason to get to be in Dark Kakariko is if you walk there, and if you walk there, you would have taken the route that brings you right past that that ledge. So honestly, I think Mclagging might have just forgotten about the ledge. We see our first butter sword here on Evanidus' side.
Oh well, 46 minutes in, very nice. Also picked up the silvers in Tower of Hera earlier, so he needs the bow and he'll have the full Ganon equipment basically.
Yep. We are also confirmed needing one more medallion at a minimum. By the way, I'm still pulling for Turtle Rock hype.
And it looks like we have a confirmed boots locked Desert Palace here.
Yeah. I think we're going to be seeing the lamp inside Swamp, honestly. So Evanidus, only having one more chest to check in Swamp or Desert Palace, doesn't have a fire source, so Evanidus cannot actually go to the boss. Also can't enter Mire, notably. So honestly, Evanidus' options are still pretty limited.
Yeah, there's not too much he can do right now.
So we're going to be seeing that inevitable march toward that Eastern Palace hammer.
Yeah, he can't get around it forever unless he finds something real good.
This could be good? Question mark?
Maybe.
This is Misery Mire entrance. Evanidus does not seem to care one lick about that. Instead, opting to go check Agina's cave. And I believe chat is confirming that our pedestal hype index is officially hit 0.
Yay!
I'm still pulling for the Turtle Rock hype.
Evanidus throwing a little bomb there at Agina's cave and gets a single arrow out of it. Oh man, that's good.
I like the text when you talk to Agina in this version.
Yeah, me too.
So, Evanidus is... I don't really get this play. Evanidus has to know he's sequence broken, right? And without finding that fire rod, without finding the fire rod, skipping the lamp is very risky. Like, there are 2 chests in here that are fire blocked.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's an interesting play. Maybe that's just what he decided on before they started playing. As we said, both of these guys at 0-2.
Mclagging finding the shovel inside of Swamp Palace, so that might be important.
Really our first fetch quest, kinda, right? I guess if you don't count the book as a fetch quest.
I count the bottle, too.
Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, Evanidus is swimming in dangerous waters right now with this extended sequence break.
I'm really trying to figure out though, where could the land be at this point? I mean, shovel, obviously, that just opened up, I guess.
Yep, we find our first of 2 items inside Misery Mire, just a Fisher Price shield. Get our 3rd bottle here in the backside of Swamp. But we'll see. Mclagging did do the left side, so I don't believe we'll be re-entering Swamp. I don't know if we saw the big key yet, though.
Yeah, he found the big key right at the beginning.
Yeah, if I find the big key early on in those first 2 chests, I like to do the left side route regardless.
Yeah, I think I always do left side first. I don't know. I just don't want to get burned, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good policy to have. Unfortunately, without that butter sword, Mclagging's going to have a bit of a longer Argus fight, having to do 2 slashes to bring down one of these puffs. Evan apparently... Did Evan forget that they don't have a fire source?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure they know.
I think... Okay. We just really want to hit the switch. Evanidus will be able to clear this dungeon, and Evanidus also better hope that we're going to see the second item. I think we haven't seen it yet.
Oh, and there's the lamp.
The lamp inside
Argus
himself.
himself.
I don't know. Somebody said that there was going to be a lamp inside Swamp Palace. I forget who.
Yeah, I can't remember right now. I think I vaguely recall someone mentioning it before, yeah.
So yeah, Evanidus really needs that hammer, and to enter... What? To enter... Swamp. Because right now, that lamp seems like it might be the only route except for this shovel for progression. Maybe?
Yeah, it definitely would be the key to unravel Evanidus' extended sequence break right now.
Nothing at the shovel, so the shovel was a complete troll. Mclagging, meanwhile, not going to be getting the boots, unfortunately, which is terrible for Mclagging, especially considering they're required. But Mclagging will be able to check what's in Hera Basement, if they choose to do so.
Yeah, and I feel like he's been very thorough with all his checks so far, so he probably will go back for it, if I had to guess. Evanidus here having a little trouble with the dark rooms in Mire. I can't really blame him. That switch, if you can't quite line it up. There it goes, though. Meanwhile, Mclagging making his way into Tower of Hera. Grabbed his Tempered Sword on the way, of course. Gonna be happy about that one. Evanidus finally making it out of those dark rooms down to 1.5 hearts. He needs to be careful.
Okay, so I missed it. Did Evanidus actually get the second item in here?
I don't think he did.
So that's gotta be kind of scary. You also have these, I believe, infinitely respawning shells. Maybe not infinitely. Might be like 10 or so. Evanidus wanted to get some health off of them. Not having the powder for this anti-fairy. And also not having a bow. Oh my goodness.
This is not going to be fun.
So we got cape strats. Or not cape strats, blue cane strats, which is the laggiest thing in the game, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, making the name of his opponent proud.
Yep. But with that butter sword, it's only like 8 hits on the big eye, and 2 or 3 on the small ones.
Yeah, I think something like that.
And there's still an item in here, isn't there?
I think he had to leave an item, yes.
This is very interesting. Because Evanidus has left items in 3 of the dungeons he's cleared so far. All 3 of the dungeons he's cleared so far.
Yep. We know that he missed out on the cape in Thieves Town. We've yet to see the other 2 dungeons from Mclagging.
Yep. Evanidus, starting at Link's house, we'll see... Yep, Evanidus is going to escape. With the mirror, I expect we'll be finally seeing what's inside that dark room, which could be huge.
Mclagging is indeed going back for the basement item, so we'll see what that holds for us.
Well, unfortunately for Mclagging, it's not the book, which is what he really needs.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna want that.
Taking a break to check his MySpace account.
Does it have sweet MIDI music playing in the background?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And Evanidus is going to be getting not a whole lot here inside the castle basement.
Alright, so here is the second item that Evanidus had to leave behind.
My goodness.
Okay.
So both of our runners will have to visit this area of the mountain again.
Yep, definitely looks like it.
The thing is, that bow is going to be sending Mclagging directly to Palace of Darkness. And Mclagging is going to be able to clear it, grab the flute, and... I don't know, probably do Meyer.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Mclagging actually getting through Spike Cave, getting a little bit of love, but also doing it without even using an invincibility item. At this point, if Mclagging had picked up that book, I think he would be squarely in the lead. The problem is, that's not the case.
Yeah, the question really is when does he go back up there to check that graveyard ledge? I mean, the boots would lead him there, but he's not going to find the boots unless he finds the book.
Yeah,
And he's
that's
already
the problem.
checked everything that's up there in the Dark World.
Yep, he's even checked the Bumper Cave, so even less of a reason to go that direction. Even done Catfish and Pyramid, so he's not going to be in that area anytime soon. So this really is a race to see who goes back first.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the problem is I honestly, like, Mclagging's stream was out, but I honestly think Mclagging might have forgotten about the ledge entirely, and might even assume that he already checked it.
That would probably be the worst thing that could happen to him.
Yeah. So where is Evanidus going? Looks like Evanidus is going to be checking the dwarf peg cave, and wait, when did Evanidus get powder? So Evanidus can do Batman.
Was that in the Dark Sewers chest maybe?
Maybe. We need do to tell us.
Yeah, our wonderful tracker helping out chat and helping out us especially when we miss everything.
Okay, so it was in the dark section of Escape, which can be equally terrible for Mclagging. Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
This is fun. This is good. This is good for Evanidus. You know, give Evanidus a chance to go buy some potions.
Yeah, sure. I mean, why not? You like seeing a fetch quest into a fetch quest.
Yeah, that's like one of chat's favorite things.
Exactly, and we're doing all this for chat, obviously.
Evanidus is not falling for that mushroom bait just yet. Probably going to be clearing out Skull Woods, which we know had something. Wait, no, Evanidus already did Skull Woods.
Yeah.
Because there's ether in there.
Is he gonna...
Evanidus is just going to grab that chest and flute to the swamp area.
Why didn't he take his portal?
He couldn't because it was behind the hammer peg.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I was actually half expecting Evanidus to skip out on the purple chest.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see you, but sure, you don't want to leave something important behind, and he's already had to leave plenty behind, so...
Yeah. The problem here is Evanidus seems to be committed to the gamble of skipping Eastern, which we know is not the right gamble.
Yeah, I don't know if it's... You know, I think some runners just do dark rooms and everything so much in all their seeds that it's kind of normal to them almost. So he might just be avoiding a pending dungeon in his ad, but obviously he's like heavily sequence broken everything with all the dark rooms that he's been doing.
I don't even think Evanidus has anything left to do outside of Eastern Palace right now. Don't even have Bombos to get into. Huh. I think Evanidus forgot about Eastern Palace too.
Yeah, he seems a little confused. Looks like he remembers. And is probably gonna be not too happy to find something here, but
Yeah, it's probably one of the worst feelings, but again, I would like to remind anyone tuning in that these racers, there's basically there's no way either of them are going to make it into the bracket stage. This race is just for fun and pride.
Yeah, you want to have at least one win on your record, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so Mclagging is getting to his flute, and it looks like Evanidus is finally remembering that Eastern Palace exists.
Yeah. But does Evanidus clear Eastern Palace or just leave immediately when we see the hammer?
I wouldn't be surprised to see him leave, to be honest, but I don't think he should.
Yeah. There was nothing else in here. So it would be the correct call. It's just not the smart call.
Oh, is he forgetting that first chestnut?
Oh my!
Oh, thankfully. God. What are you
Don't
doing,
do that.
Evanidus?
Don't do that to us! Evanidus not happy about that hammer.
Nope, now he's thinking about leaving.
Yeah, decides to keep going, which I think is the smart play, thumbs up, but the wrong play, thumbs down.
Yeah, unfortunately, as you say, we of course already know what's happening in here, but
But the thing is, like, Mclagging's in a bad spot too, so he doesn't know that. But Evanidus, with one decision, could put himself firmly back in the lead.
yeah, it really is a weird situation for both players. Evanidus probably feels super behind because of that hammer right now. But as you say, Mclagging has no incentive to go up to the graveyard ledge and grab that book, which even if he doesn't need it right this very second, he'll very soon run out of places to go, and he definitely needs it to finish out Desert Palace.
Yep. So what do we still need that we haven't seen? It's just Fire Rod, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
If that Fire Rod is inside Misery Mire, aka a dungeon Evanidus has already cleared and had to leave an item behind because it was fire blocked, that could be the saving grace that Mclagging really needs. The only thing about that... Actually, no, we haven't seen Bombos yet, so Fire Rod isn't even going to point to Turtle Rock until we get Bombos. But Fire Rod will point to Ice Palace, unfortunately.
Well, how about we find Bombos so it points to both Ice Palace and Turtle Rock, and then it turns out that the Fire Rod is actually in Turtle Rock.
That'd be interesting. Mclagging getting that another sign from the heavens, getting that Ice Rod.
Yeah, I believe that was an Ice Rod. Not the rod that we need.
Don't count it out just yet.
I know.
Actually, no, I guess we don't need it because we literally can't kill Trinex without the Fire Rod. So, yeah, completely useless rod. Might as well just throw it in the trash right now.
Yeah, get rid of that thing.
Really, I mean, it's just cluttering up your menu, making it take longer to select your items.
Yeah, without half magic on Mclagging's side, also makes you waste a lot of magic.
So,
Alright, so... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
At this point, where do we see these runners go? Mclagging is probably going to be going to Mire and do Desert, probably even complete Desert with that fire source. But all of that's in service of crystals and not other progression.
Well, he's not gonna clear desert because of those boots.
Oh, yes, that's true. So we're not going to be seeing a desert clear. We are going to be seeing a butter sword.
We might see the
Or maybe
two
not.
chests that were left behind in Mire, though, depending on if Mclagging decides to dip into there after the checkerboard cave.
Yeah, so neither of these runners can clear desert for different reasons. The Bombos tablet not having anything.
I'm wondering, where is Evanidus going? Is he doing Swamp? It looks like he is.
Yeah, that's the logical play, and it's going to restore the woefully mistreated sequence.
Yep, after killing Argus and picking up his lamp, he'll finally be back on normal logic track.
So yeah, right now both of these runners are just retracing steps that the others are doing, or have already done, I should say.
Yeah, unless we see Mclagging into Mire after this, and actually check the two fire block chests that Evanidus couldn't check because of his lack of a fire source.
I'm still pulling for Bombo somewhere. I just really want to see a fire rodless Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it could happen. They could also only get to the first chest and then be stuck. Alright, so Mclagging is gonna find out that he's gonna need those boots eventually.
Yeah.
So
both
at least...
of our runners have the butter sword.
Yep. And at least Mclagging will know that boots are available somewhere.
Chad is pointing out that Evanidus has kind of done everything. The hammer, which blocks a lot of things, isn't opening up a ton of stuff. Total Rock is still blocked by Bombos. Ice Palace can't be entered until we find either Bombos or the Fire Rod. There's that Thieves Town big chest, which Evanidus might have on the mind, but that had the cape in it, which led to nothing good.
Yeah, and I just don't really see him going back to Hera anytime soon. That tile room, and there was a useless pendant, not even the green one.
Yeah. It really depends on how these runners think about the items they pick up. Like, if you think, okay, I got the lamp, what does that let me do now that I couldn't before? And the list of things is really small.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Evanidus might be making the trip sooner rather than later. But again, there's still, like, Mire, there's still the hammer chest inside Thieves Town.
Yeah.
And all of these items, they're like one-off spots. So it's really gonna come down to not even a coin flip, because there's more than two choices.
Yeah, there's just so much stuff that he can theoretically do, but it's also out of the way of each other, I guess.
Yep. So I'm very interested to see what Mclagging finds here in Misery Mire. because if both Misery Mire and Thieves Town have required progression, that could be really bad.
Yeah, I'm not sure if a book in Graveyard Ledge is gonna save Evanidus at this point.
Mclagging is opting to do the new wave strat of going directly to Vitreous instead of fully clearing the dungeon.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of this strat. I understand why they do it, but I don't know. It just feels wrong to me.
It's really just, it feels wrong for me particularly because I really want to see what's in that left side.
Yeah, that might have a little bit to do with it, but you know.
So I think the keys to this race are going to be what's inside Misery Mire, when Evanidus decides to return to Hera, and when Mclagging decides to check out that Graveyard Ledge.
Mm-hmm.
And none of those have easy answers until we see what happens.
One thing I'm personally very just curious about is if we see the Fire Rod or Bombos first, because that might make a big difference in the end.
Mclagging having a bit of an easier time on the Vitreous fight, actually having the bow to use those silvers with.
Just get zapped once. On the other hand, Evanidus having a bit of an easier time with that butter sword on Argus.
Yeah. Mclagging only had the Master Sword when he did Swamp.
Alright, Mclagging, come on, show us what those two chests hold.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing that. Well, Evanidus finally restores this badly mistreated sequence.
Yep, that's how it happens. Finally makes it back on track.
So what do you do with the lamp? Where do you go, Evanidus? Where
That
do
is
you
a
go?
perfectly valid question.
Well, looks like we're first going to check the shovel. Mclagging is gonna be showing us what we've all been dying to see for the past, like, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. And trolled. And we're spending even more time checking something we know isn't anything, except for, I think, a small key, maybe. The seed is debating us left and right. So, Evanidus, I don't know, is there still an item left in Desert?
Yes.
Okay. So I think this is a good play, actually. Clearing Desert, it's not going to get much faster with Butter Sword. Having silvers would be nice, or having the bow would be nice, but that's somewhere far away.
Yeah, still, we're gonna see the first item that Mclagging had to leave behind, basically.
Yeah, that is true. Mclagging is also very much so not wanting to do the vanilla big key room.
Yeah, but apparently got no other choice.
Oh my. That is... Chad is pointing out if Desert Palace has Bombos, that could be terrible.
Oh boy.
Terribly awesome.
Alright, here we go, Mclagging now on his way. And just $50 on land mollusk.
I honestly think the seed could potentially be way more trolly than a pedestal seed. And without the fire out here in Misery Mire, Mclagging is gonna resort to somewhat vanilla strats.
Also known as the slow way.
Yeah. Ooh, Evanidus opting to go into Mire. This could be good, could be bad. We really just don't know.
We will find out in about, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds. If Mclagging picks up something good here, Evanidus made a good choice so far at least. There's still a couple good choices left to make.
Oh my goodness!
Oh man.
That is great for Evanidus.
Yep, that is really good for Evanidus.
But, and this is a big but, it's going to point to Ice Palace, which Mclagging is probably also going towards right now. Oh, no, Mclagging is making a liar of me going to Skullwoods first.
Yeah, I don't mind this play. There's an item left in here too, so... He's not wrong. Let's hope he doesn't find bombos here, because that might mislead him.
So we are in commentator's go mode at a, what, 120? Problem is that both of these runners are missing something crucial that the other runner has.
Yeah, and we can't really be sure when either of the runners is gonna check that one spot that they need to check.
Yeah. So does Evanidus ever go back to Hera? Like, is the sea just gonna keep debating Evanidus with new items, new progression?
Probably.
Really, all that's left is the Bombos medallion. So if that's inside Ice Palace, that could be disastrous.
It's gonna be interesting to see for sure. I really don't know what else we could be looking for here.
Huh. Evanidus... Okay. I was gonna say... Evanidus is not going to Hera. Looked... starting at the mountain cave, I was kind of hopeful. But... looks like Evanidus is also going to be finishing up Skull Woods. I don't know if we've seen everything Skullwoods has to offer in terms of items.
I believe there is one item left.
Okay. But Buttersword on Mothula is going to make this a breeze, unlike in the vanilla game, which makes it really annoying.
Or impossible.
Well, you'll have Hammer, maybe.
Yeah, true. Alright, so it's just a piece of heart in here. Good to grab a crystal, but not the stuff you're looking for.
Yep. And I am honestly predicting both of our runners are going to be going to Ice next, so...
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty much a route convergence, but not really, because they both need to go to different places.
Interesting. Mclagging is going back in here, but I think he's got everything that he could out of Skull Woods.
Yeah, it is strange.
He looked at all his dungeon items and he has them all, but I think this has to be a small key. Yeah. Just probably just wanted to make sure he wasn't quite sure if he counted right. I can't blame him.
So, to anyone tuning in, where Mclagging needs to go is the Graveyard Ledge, which has the book, which leads to the boots on the Ether Tablet. Evanidus, on the other hand, just has to go into the same area to Tower of Hera, where he'll find the bow inside that basement.
Yep. And it's going to be interesting to see. That really, as you were saying earlier already, that's kind of what it hinges on. Who goes to the place that they need to go to first.
I don't know if you're noticing a theme here, but I don't know if there are any items remaining in Eastern Palace, but it is also a green pendant. So that's also a bonus item given to us by Sir Hasselhoff.
Are you making a German joke?
no, just a name.
Yeah, sure. I believe you.
Evanidus actually doing a pedestal check. Must not realize that the bow can't be there. Well,
As you
predictably
were saying.
enough, both of our runners are now in Ice Palace.
Alright, so what can we find in here, realistically? I mean, really only bombos at this point, right?
Yep, if Bombos is in here, Evanidus is in for a wild ride. But Mclagging might also go there too. This is gonna be the debated seed through and through.
It sure looks like it, because I don't know, it looks like both of our guys here are really subscribing to the whole do the dungeons if you have access to them thing. Especially Mclagging with that early Eastern Palace dip. And as soon as he gets access to Turtle Rock, he has both rods, he has Pain of Samaria, he has a lamp, he has the hammer, he has everything he needs.
Yeah. On Evanidus' side, though, depending on whether or not he remembers there's still an item in Hera Basement, he might decide to do that check before heading into Total Rock. It's slow, yes, it's one item, yes, but it's also on the way. There are, 6 items in Total Rock, and it really seems like a more low-hanging fruit to check. Oh my goodness, I really want to see. I really want to see Bombos in here. you have no idea.
You're such a bad man, Rubel. You're a bad man.
I'm sorry. It's just... it's important to me. Get a bit of a virtual high five down the stairs and up the stairs.
Up and down the stairs. Alright, we're just waiting here to find that inevitable bombos.
Yep. Still like 2 places to check in here, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Evanidus, I think, is making up a bit of time. I mean, I don't think Evanidus is really behind in the classical sense of the word, but in this particular dungeon, Evanidus is catching up a bit just through execution.
I think he's also routing it a little bit differently, isn't he? By the
So,
way, it looks like Coldstare must be holding an item.
yeah. You know what would be terrible for Mclagging? Is
Out of
if
magic.
Bombos... What? Oh, running out of magic for one thing, but Bombos at Sahasrara.
Oh man.
So, Coldstare just having our 4th and final bottle.
Free
Some
Red
nice,
Dew.
yeah, some nice Mountain Dew Code Red inside. I thought they stopped making it, honestly, but I guess it's still around.
I got a special deal with the Rando guys.
Yeah. Evanidus also not very far behind, catching up quite a bit through Ice Palace.
Yeah, he definitely made some time.
So where does Mclagging go from here? Fluting to 4 is not what you want to do, because now Mclagging is going to be checking out the Pyramid Fairy.
Oh yeah, that's definitely where he's going.
And Evanidus will have that option as well. So it might be something Evanidus does too.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
Oh my goodness.
Still more chances to find that Bombos.
So the thing is, Mclagging being at the pyramid is the closest Mclagging is ever going to get to that graveyard ledge without, specifically going towards it.
Yeah, unless he decides to turn around and go north after this, I really don't see him ever getting there anytime soon.
Yeah, so this is like the crucial moment of this seed. What do you do, Mclagging? Do you go to that graveyard ledge? The answer might surprise you. It's no. The answer is no. Mclagging is going to be grabbing that powder and being sent on another wild goose chase.
Yeah, that is going to cost him another little bit of time. It's a nice safety to have, but checking the Batman afterwards.
So, Evanidus is also going to be a bit disappointed what's inside this pyramid. But where does Evanidus go after this?
Yeah, that is a very good question.
Can't clear Eastern, can't clear Pod, can't get into Turtle Rock. What do you have left other than that Terra basement? I think that's it.
Yeah, I think pretty much that's it.
Where is Evanidus going? Did Evanidus never check Hobo?
Okay. Mclagging immediately gonna check out that powder.
Yep, and as you'll recall, this is an extended goose chase.
Yes.
Because we'll be seeing the mushroom as well. Sorry to spoil anybody coming in chat. Evanidus starting at the mountain. But switching to the flute. Where are you going, Evanidus?
Debated.
We're all getting debated. The runners are getting debated, the runners are debating us. Like, where does it stop?
It never stops.
Alright, Mclagging. What do you do after this ill-fated fetch quest?
If only there was a Dark World warp near here.
Oh, you know what? One thing Evanidus didn't do, other than this peg cave, I believe.
What's that?
The Thieves' Town Big Chest.
Oh, yeah.
What is this? This seed. Evanidus is succumbing to the hubris of sequence breaks, and Mclagging, I think, just forgot about the graveyard ledge. Mclagging is also opting to go directly into Eastern Palace, wasting even more time.
Oh man. Both of these guys just not thinking about that one spot. Kind of funny that it's turning out like this in the end.
Yeah. I mean, we're reaching like the red zone here in terms of like when people start hitting that dot done. If I were in this race, I would be like eyeing over at the SRL window, like every minute or so, waiting for that dot done so I could just type dot forfeit or something.
My greatest fear here for Mclagging is that he's absolutely getting closer and closer and closer to picking up that bombos, and it will, for like 100% for sure, will it make him go to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that bombos is it's a bomb to these guys routing. It's gonna blow it up in their face.
Very well done, sir.
Evanidus is not going to be happy at what's inside this chest here.
Yeah, he at least has already checked the bumper cave, so he knows it's not something he needs to go back to.
All right, I think you have one place to go, Evanidus, and Evanidus is making the play. I think that hookshot selection was hopefully just for the hook speed.
He is gonna check Spike Cave.
Nope.
Ooh.
Going right back to Hera. Mclagging is unfortunately picking up that green pendant. We're gonna see what old Sir Hasselhoff has for us today. Honestly, like I don't know for sure what happened because again, Mclagging stream cut out while he was probably walking past the graveyard ledge. Mclagging might have been a bit distracted by the stream status.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the good thing is that Mclagging still has not picked up that bombos, and maybe he's gonna take the Dark World warp and then walk to the east out of the Village of Outcasts.
I mean, what else is there in this area?
Yeah, pedestal check. No, it can't be. He doesn't have the book.
Yeah. Which makes me wonder, like, did he just remember at some point and then just gamble that it wasn't required?
Yeah, maybe. I really don't know. Maybe it just didn't fit into his routing.
So, at 139.20, thereabouts, Evanidus is now in go mode. Or bow mode. I forget which. The point is he can beat the game.
He definitely can. Mclagging still has another step to go, and I don't know which tablet he will check first, to be honest.
Yeah. It's faster to check Bombo's tablet, I think. However, if Mclagging goes for Ether tablet, like right now, right this second, Where are you going, Mclagging? I guess probably just a flute. Anyway, if
Fluting.
Mclagging goes to Ether Tablet right now, I think we have a race. Which he's not.
Nope.
Getting debated left and right.
Oh man. It could still be reasonably exciting because it's not too much time wasted, I guess, to check the Bombos tablet, but it's definitely very, very unfortunate.
Yeah. Also remember that Evanidus has already cleared out Palace of Darkness, even gotten the big key. So all Evanidus needs to do is pick up a small key from one of these two chests here and then go directly to Helmasaur.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Mclagging has to enter the main portion of Desert, grab that big key, leave, and then go towards Landmola's. So at this point, I think Evanidus probably has maybe a 3-minute lead, maybe 3 to 5, thereabouts. Not insurmountable,
Yeah.
but not great for Mclagging.
No, it definitely doesn't feel good for either of those players. We've seen the rage slashes happening at those items. It's they're both feeling behind, and Mclagging just feeling more and more behind with every second he checks places that don't have those boots that he needs.
This has got to be painful, and this is the part where I'm just, anticipating the dot done before I even get a chance to get to Landmola's.
Yeah, no, at this point you're just waiting for it, especially with checking the wrong tablet. As soon as those boots fall from the sky, just in like 20 seconds or so,
How many frustration slashes? That should be like the new guessing game. How many frustration slashes will we be seeing after this? I'm expecting 5.
I'm going with 3.
0.
Oh, 0. No time for slashes.
Mclagging is on a mission.
I think he got it all out when he picked up the book.
Alright, so both runners in Go mode, I believe that was about 3 minutes in Go mode gap or whatever. 3.5.
Yeah, something like that.
The thing is, this seed wasn't that trolly when you think about it.
No, I mean, these guys kind of brought it upon themselves.
Mclagging forgetting a crucial location when he was in the area, and Evanidus shamefully abusing that sequence and
Yes,
getting credit for it.
No respect for that sequence whatsoever.
But Evanidus has all of those crystals. Uh-oh.
Oh, I think our good tracker already took care of that.
Oh, okay. Anyway, do you want to do the honors?
Sure, I'd be glad to. You guys know how it goes. There's 22 locations in Ganon's Tower where that big key can be hiding. If you are a subscriber or have tipped 250 bits across all the speed gaming channels, you can take part in the bot-supported guessing game. You're of course free to take part in the guessing game as well if you haven't supported. And we're trying to find out where that big key is. Put your number in chat. Must be between 1 and 22. I know that we usually pick the same number if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I went with 9 today though. Just I wanted a chance. It was too late anyway.
Yeah, I had my 8 ready in chat before Evanidus even picked up the crystal because Our dear tracker has been sniping my number, or our number, I should say.
What the heck?
Yeah, right?
It's rude. So yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to be seeing any meme routes here in Ganon's Tower. Both of these runners probably think they're pretty far behind.
Yeah, they're both, as you were saying earlier, they're both probably pretty intently eyeing the IRC channel now, especially since one of them is already in Ganon's Tower and the other one is right on his way there, so it gets just even more nerve-wracking with every minute that goes on.
Yeah. Evanidus is going for a pretty standard route right now. Not even stopping to do tile room. I want to see a Dark Magician route for Mclagging. That's my wish. I didn't get the Turtle Rock, required Turtle Rock. Please give this to me, game.
Interestingly, the only dungeon we have not visited at all.
Yeah. Like I said, the seed wasn't that mean. It could have been meaner. And I think with like standard routing without forgetting that book, both of these runners would have been done, I don't know, 15 minutes ago. 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, definitely could have been a lot faster. So far, I think we're up to item location number 7 with the torch here that only has our second shield.
Come on, Mclagging. Dark Magician route. Has to happen. Especially if the big key's in this chest, or in one of these chests right here. Oh yeah, there it is. That is number 8.
Oh yeah!
Dang, sniped.
Let's see if I actually got in this time. Alright, no Mclagging making his way into here.
Alright, so Mclagging's best hope right now is to go for a more traditional route and just leave. But that is not what's happening.
Look, it's up
So
my name.
Evanidus is maintaining his lead. And considering the problems that both of these runners had with the seed, they have the powder, they have Butter Sword. I mean, Butter Sword was free, like literally free. They have Red Mail. They have 4 bottles, one of which is a red potion, and I think another's a green.
Yeah.
So I don't see any problems on the Tower Ascent or Ganon himself.
No, you're absolutely right. This, it would be very surprising to see a death or anything. The worst that they could hope for, or I guess not hope for in that case, is maybe a fall to Ganon because they get an unfortunate hug or something. The main difference here really being not only that Evanidus is clearly a little bit ahead, but Evanidus also having that half magic.
That is true. I forget where it was.
King's Tomb, maybe? I'm not sure anymore.
Oh. Yeah, it probably was. Probably was boot blocked. So Evanidus doing that 1 cycle Landmo 2, which is really nice to see always, and this very satisfying strat with the whiz robes. And strat part 2.
Kapow, perfectly executed. I don't think I've ever gotten that second Wizrobe room right in my entire life of Rando.
I go through phases. Sometimes I get it effortlessly, and then like I do multiple seeds where I can never get it right, and then I get good at it again. It's a very weird trick. So with a half magic, Evanidus doesn't even need to pick up this full magic decanter. Also having 2 keys, we're not even going to see glorious Helmosaur death.
Yeah, unfortunately, you couldn't quite get your wish. I'm not too sad about being able to skip Charlock, to be honest.
Yeah. Evanidus opting not to cheat in Moldorm 2. And throwing some shade there at the last chest in the game.
That's not gonna make him any friends.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mclagging into his Lamala fight gets hucked here, unfortunate. That kind of messes up his rhythm.
So let's see how nice Aghanim 2 is, and that is a very nice first phase. That could have been a double-triple, but only getting a double there. So we got a nice 3-2-1 from Evanidus. We're going to be off to the Ganon fight proper.
That should also not be a problem at all. He only lost 1 heart in total. Full magic.
Fortunately, Mclagging's having a bit of trouble with this Wizard room.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, it's not as easy as most of these guys make it look.
So even with all the things that went wrong for these runners, we're going to be seeing sub 2 on both sides, barring a commentator's curse.
Well, guys, you know who to blame. Alright, Mclagging already in phase number 3 here. Just kind of face tanking the fire bats for a little bit, no big deal.
Yeah, Ganon not even being very trolly with the warps today. That was, what, no warps?
Oh, yeah, I think that was no warps.
So this seed is apologizing a little bit, even though I don't think it has to, through the Aga 2 fight and the Ganon phase 3.
Oh, almost a triple there, but very nicely done.
Yeah, that is going to be GG. Evanidus is about to walk through this door, and we can report final time. And Evanidus is finishing in first place with an SRL time of 1:53.50. Good game to Evanidus.
Yep, meanwhile, Mclagging on his Aga 2 fight. Very nice triple there for him as well. And a double, so we're going to see a 3-2-1 as well from Mclagging, it looks like.
Okay. Evanidus unfortunately doesn't have a mic. Won't be able to join us for the post-game roast. I mean, interview.
He is in chat though, as Evanidus, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask him there.
What do you have against Sequence?
What did that poor Sequence ever do to you?
Ah, jeez. Anyway, Mclagging is already done with phase 2.
Not gonna get an equally as nice Ganon. Needs to watch out a little bit. Gets hit by that fire bat, but not really in any kind of trouble here.
Yep. So Mclagging is going to be finishing up here in a second. Only getting a single there.
Which is a teleport.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Ganon. Pretty easy when you got the Butter Sword and Silvers.
Mm-hmm.
Which is especially weird because that's like the intended way of beating the game. And Mclagging finishes in second place with a time of 1:56.22, a difference of about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, so despite two kind of, I don't know, diverging and converging routes, it kind of went back and forth over the whole seed. It wasn't really much of a time difference at the end there at all.
Yep, gonna see if we can get Mclagging in for a quick interview. And yeah, like, despite all the problems and distinct problems that these players had, it ended up really just... Honestly, I think Evanidus won because of execution.
Yeah, he definitely made up a lot of time. We saw that in Ice Palace, and we also saw that in Ganon's Tower, where he really kind of raced ahead.
And Mclagging will do an interview, but needs a second. The arrow boost sleeps again. I think that was a pedestal required seed. You needed those arrows to actually beat Ganon.
Yeah, definitely. Those were the right arrows. The only kind of arrows.
Alright, Mclagging is in the waiting room, so we can drag him in. Hey, good game.
Hey, GG. That was a rough seed.
Yeah.
So, I had one question first and foremost in my mind, and maybe you can provide some insight. Around the time when you picked up Mirror, your stream cut out for a little bit, and this question is twofold. When you came back, you were inside Dark Kakariko with the frog in tow, which I think the only way to get there is running past the desert or past the graveyard ledge. Did you do that? And also, like, did you just forget about it, or were you like just concerned about your internet or something at that point?
I believe when I finally got the mirror, I just saved and quit, then restarted at the sanctuary. Then I went back into Dark Kakariko from the portal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when Evanidus grabbed the mirror, I believe that was the first thing he did, and then he immediately went up to check the Hera area along with ether tablets. So he had boots for quite a while.
Oh wow, yeah, that took me forever to find.
Yeah, it was actually very interesting watching this because both of you had different issues. I guess I should say, like, you didn't have the book for a while, which obviously meant you didn't have the boots for a while. And Evanidus, on the other hand, decided to do sequence breaks and didn't have the lamp for quite some time and ended up going to a lot of places that the lamp, was required to get to. And it turned out that the lamp blocked 2 very important items in dungeons that Evanidus had to return to in Tower of Hera and Misery Mire. So you had a bit of a benefit there. It's just that really the Graveyard Ledge was the last thing you checked.
Yeah, because I was trying to think of where I hadn't been yet. Then finally, after I turned in the green pen, I was like, oh yeah, I never been to Graveyard Ledge. It's like, it's probably going to lead me that way. Then I got the book. It's like, come on.
Yeah, and even near the end, when you checked the pyramid, that was like, again, like the closest you're ever going to be to Graveyard Ledge without, specifically wanting to go there. And it was a kind of heartbreaking to see you mirror out.
Yeah. I was just happy we never found Bombos and could never go to Turtle Rock. So I probably would have went there if I found Bombos.
So this unfortunate loss makes you own 3 in your group. Who do you have left to play?
I believe all of us still have to race Spooty yet. He's only done run 1 race so far.
Yeah, that could be good. It probably can't feel very good, potentially going 0-4, but I think with Spooty, there's a good shot.
I mean, either way, it's been a lot of fun in this group so far, and I knew this race was going to be a close one, which it was, so either way, it's been a lot of fun so far, and maybe get to do 1 more race, so that'll be exciting.
Cool. You were one of the 6 people, right, who made it through the bloodbath, right?
Yep, I finished 4th in that one.
Okay. Cool. Anything else you want to say about this seed? It really trolled both of you, but if both of you didn't do or did do the one thing that was the cause of the troll, I think it would have been a pretty nice seed to go through.
Yeah, just the way both of us routed it just did not fit either of our routing. But it was an interesting seed. At least glad to sub to it with checking pretty much every single thing I could check. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I was a little bit scared of the commentary curse. I did note that both of you, despite the trolls, were going to be sub 2. So no Ganon falls as a result of that.
That's good. Just made it under the 2-hour mark, so.
Cool. Sorry to take up all the time, Herfy. Any questions? Any burning questions?
No, that's no problem. I think you got it pretty much everything that I could think of asking anyways. Just want to say, of course, thanks for the race. And it was entertaining to watch, so...
Yep. Yeah, it was entertaining to cast, too.
Definitely. It had some interesting moments.
All right. Well, I guess if you liked what you saw from these runners, please toss them a follow. And if you're not doing so, please follow the speed gaming channels 1 through 4, or no, it's I guess 0 through 4. And yeah, I've been joined today by the glorious Herfy Durfy.
Oh my. Well, thanks a lot. And of course, thanks also to our tracker, the dude, who's been keeping chat busy, answering all the questions and keeping track of all our items. And thanks to Fiesel for the restream as always. And I've been joined today by the wonderful Ruble, so you should definitely throw that guy a follow as well.
Maybe. Anyway. So yeah, I guess that's it from us. I don't think there's any other races scheduled today.
I think there might be a secondary race starting up on one of the Link to the Past Randomizer Twitch channels.
You may be right. At right now, actually. on a Link to the Past Randomizer, or Link to the Past Randomizer Twitch channel.
Yep, so if you can't get enough of that, go over there and check it out. And you can also feel free to stick around here. The Speed Gaming main channel will have Zelda 2, I believe, and the Speed Gaming 2 channel will have the Zelda 1 randomizer, so there's plenty of Zelda for everyone. And I think that's pretty much going to be it from us today, so I hope you guys have a great night. Bye-bye.
Later.